The Voladores are an ethereal, nomadic people. Aside from their distinctive environmental suits, their tall height, and their nature as wandering trader with stores of strange technology or ancient artifacts, not much else is known about the Voladores due to their extreme insularity and secrecy. They are a society so out of time than even the most distant cosmopolitans, and there are rumors that they are post-human of some sort, or some kind of secret exception to the First Contact Accord's prohibitions, but like I said, these are just rumors, with no ground for truth. The Voladores were first encountered in Union space during the first expansion period, in the time of the first COM. Following reports of peaceful encounters with unknown interstellar ships, investigators from the Union Administrative Department were ordered to track and make contact with the unknown vessels. Effective communication methods are identified after significant work by Dr. Oberon Sterling and Farfield Team 1683, still missing in action, and diplomatic channels between Cradle and the Voladores' capital, High Ground, are established. A negotiation soon proceeded swiftly and successfully, and the Voladores were officially recognized as a stateless pre-fall society, a designation which was proven inaccurate later on. During the time of the first COM, the Voladores enjoyed relative independence from Union's laws. Classified as liminal nomadic culture, they were afforded the same rights as other cosmopolitans and diasporans in Union space, allowing them to freely travel Union space for trading for millennia. Voladores were even frequently sighted above Cradle, trading tribute, survey data, and all manner of galactic wealth to the Union. It is in large part that Union was able to identify and settle so many habitable worlds thanks to the Voladores' planetary survey data, many of which are now core worlds. It is the Voladores that aided in establishing contact between Union and Karakan trade baronies, and it is the Voladores that played a pivotal role in various peace talks prompted by SECOM's centralization campaigns. Their diplomats, even rarer than their merchants, are legendary for their patience and wise counsel. But, the SECOM was anything but wise, and soon it tried to integrate the nomadic culture into the Union's hegemony. This hostile relationship reached its peak when an attempted colonial incursion was launched by Union via deniable assets onto a Voladore ship. The attempt failed, and the Voladores disappeared from Union space completely. This disappearance lasted until the third COM was established, and soon the reports of Voladores' activities has increased since then. To the galactic community, the Voladores are a mysterious bunch with little to no public details about their culture and society. With no truth to stand on, many myths and prejudices are created by both cosmopolitans and diasporans, if they have even heard of the Voladores at all. Most diasporans will never encounter the Voladores, but if one of their trade ships did visit them, there will most likely be myths on their arrival and departure. Cosmopolitans on the other hand have a slightly higher chance of encountering these nomadic traders, usually at galactic transit points such as blink stations and distal shipping lanes. In general, the Voladores are pacifist, largely nomadic, and organized around Matria, a coalition of families who live and work on the same trade vessels or across multiple ships, led by a matriarchal council of elders responsible for decision-making and temporal record-keeping. To outsiders, they appear as conservative and rigid, but with little knowledge about their cultures and traditions beyond basic organizational structures. What appears as conservative and rigid to an outsider is just as likely the product of ignorance as anything. It is presumed that joining their culture is impossible, and they are rarely seen outside of their trade missions. The trade ships are the heart of the Voladore culture in every way, acting like a small city and mobile bazaar as they are a vessel. It is in these ships that the Voladores practice their craft during transit, and host trade delegations while parked in orbit. These vessels are usually Voladore make, but some smaller matrias make do with freighters of Union design. The Voladores primarily trades in technology from all over the galaxy. Some are even extremely advanced, experimental, or old and long forgotten, possibly traded or salvaged during their frequent trips to worlds and systems rich in pre-fall relics, but almost never their own technology. The Voladores are extremely reluctant to share or sell any of their own technology, even Union could barely understand any of it. To those that did manage to steal it, the Voladores are willing to put aside their pacifistic ways to actively hunt them down, often contracting Spurry mercenaries to help them track down the thieves. Speaking of Spurry, the Voladores often hire experienced Spurry mercenaries as bodyguards, which often proves to be very helpful in either convincing hostile actors to think otherwise, or turning dangerous situations into mildly unprofitable trips. So oftentimes, you won't see a Voladore like this, you will see them like this. Also, you usually won't come to the Voladores, they come to you instead. That's because of two reasons. 1. The location of Voladore's central hub world, high ground, is a complete unknown. Nobody even knows what it looks like, with many theories and no solid truths to possibly explain the mysterious nature and uncanny appearance of the Voladore. Is it just a big trading vessel, a megastructure, a capture metavault, or a world suspended over the event horizon of a black hole? Nobody, besides the Voladores, knows. And 2, the Voladores don't exactly leave a phone number, they don't even have a presence on the OmniNet, no website, nothing. To trade with them, one must encounter them in real space, on their own terms. Their arrival is almost always a surprise, and how long they stay is always a mystery, but if the trade is good, they might stay for months or years. The most reliable way to contact high ground when diplomatic contact is necessary, is via the Voladore's diplomatic office on Cradle, which is usually not staffed by any of the Nomads. Instead, it's staffed by a CompCon, of Union design. And despite it being the only office of its kind, it is not often trafficked. Just because it's the most reliable way of contacting the Voladores, that doesn't mean it's a fast way to communicate, or that high ground responds to every query. As far as people can tell, there's no single leader of the Voladores, and the composition of their matriarchal council changes according to mysterious criteria. The only thing known for sure is that their society is matrilineal, and their names include personal identifiers, family names, and location names. I'm sure you still have a lot of questions for the mysterious Nomads, but they certainly aren't inclined to sell people the answers. Hello there, if you like this video, please subscribe to my channel and click that notification bell button. If you really want to support my channel, you could visit my Patreon page, or buy me some coffee, links in the description. Anyway, have a nice day.